Friends, welcome to my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It's not difficult for you, but it's nice for me, and we're starting. It was already evening outside the window. Dusk was already enveloping the city. Sasha was sitting in the waiting room. As a young doctor, he was left on duty today while everyone was walking at a corporate party dedicated to March 8th. Even most of the light patients were allowed to go home today. It was already the third cup of coffee, splashing in Sasha's mug on duty, when the nurse ran in. Another victim with a broken leg was admitted to the ambulance. For Sasha, all the patients were faceless. They were just patients, without any personality or gender characteristics. However, something went wrong today. There was an insanely beautiful girl lying in the examination room. How beautiful she is. Beautiful hairstyle, flawless makeup, green eyes. But the beautiful plump lips were slightly distorted from the pain they had experienced. The girl was wearing an incredibly beautiful and expensive dress. She was going to a corporate party dedicated to the holiday. However, in front of the car, she fell and injured her ankle. Sasha immediately sent the girl for an X-ray. Thank God, there was no displacement, but the cast was applied. The girl swore loudly at Sasha several times when he assigned her to the hospital, allocating a bed place. Contrary to the rules, Sasha did not even immediately fill out the questionnaire, going back to the residence room. In the morning, making his rounds, Sasha went into the ward and to this brazen, beautiful bore. "Doctor, I'm sorry, please." The evening patient sincerely apologized. "I really went overboard with insults yesterday. You helped me, and I behaved like this. I was just upset about the ruined evening, especially on a holiday. Since March 8th, thank you," Sasha said, smiling, sitting down on a chair located next to the patient's bed. Already with a friendly new patient, Sasha was able to fill out a questionnaire, specifying the data, diagnosis, temperature, etc. "Her name is Nastia. What a wonderful good name," flashed through the guy's head. In the morning, she seemed to him even more beautiful than yesterday's bitchy spoiled girl. When Sasha went home after duty, all his thoughts were only about her. How beautiful she is. How good she is. And her languid, velvety voice. There are no flaws in it. Sasha almost said to himself. The short sleep was disturbing. Sasha dreamed about Nastia. She was running through a chamomile field, and the hem of her dress was beautifully developing. Sasha saw it all and just smiled. However, suddenly a tractor appeared from somewhere in this beautiful field. He was driving towards Nastia, and the girl didn't seem to hear him. Sasha was screaming. He was screaming at the top of his voice, but no sounds came out. He tried to run to her, but his legs were wobbly. The tractor was already behind the carefree smiling girl, and Sasha was still far away. He shouted, "No!" That's what woke him up. He came to the department in the evening while another doctor was on duty. Nastia was lying in the same room, and her leg was still in the same cast. Seeing a familiar face, the girl smiled. She was already without makeup, but she was still beautiful. She seemed to exude natural beauty. "And here I am. I brought some oranges," Sasha said shyly. "Thank you, doctor," the girl replied in her velvety voice. In those seconds, Sasha realized that he had actually fallen in love. Those eyes, those cute cheeks, that she was all beautiful. There were no flaws in it. And the girl answered Sasha in the same way. Nastia always greeted the guy with a kind, bright smile when he came to find out about her well-being. Even the nurses noticed that the doctor simply could not pass by the room where Nastia was lying. She had learned to use crutches a long time ago, so sometimes they walked together and sat on a bench near the hospital. Fortunately, the spring turned out to be very warm. Sasha carried the girl up the stairs in his arms. Her beautiful, delicate body was in his arms. She was so charming. He needed her very much. How pleasant was that kiss that Nastia gave to the guy when they were once again sitting on a bench near the hospital. It was just a kiss on the cheek. However, at that moment there was no happier person on earth than Sasha. The second kiss happened when Sasha, carrying his beloved in his arms, put her on a hospital bed. How much passion and tenderness there was in that kiss when their lips came together. They hugged and sweetly caressed, bringing each other to arousal. Sasha desperately wanted to take Nastenka. It was obvious from the girl that she wanted it too. However, The staff passing along the corridor clearly confused the guy, and the passionate sighs obviously would not have gone unnoticed. On the next night shift, Sasha decided to arrange a little surprise for Nastenka. In the orderly room, he lit candles, turned off the light, and wine and fruit were placed on the table. All the nurses on duty that night were puzzled by various problems and simply could not stop the young doctor. He went into the room where his beloved was lying. Nastia was almost falling asleep, snoring with her cute nose. Sasha picked her up and carried her to the residence room. The girl, who had already woken up, was smiling very sweetly, looking straight into the eyes of the young doctor. They drank wine in silence. There was no need for unnecessary words. It was just two pairs of loving eyes looking at each other. He drank only one glass, but realized that he could no longer restrain himself. Sasha came up to Nastia, gently hugging her. The girl returned the hug. She was incredibly pleased with him. She seemed to like this young doctor very much. A hot kiss went through Sasha's body with light goosebumps, causing a slight fire in his soul. His chosen one was beautiful and young. She was perfect. They would have loved to spin to the rhythm of the dance, but that damn cast was holding them back. Sasha picked up his beloved in his arms again and began to circle. Nastia, on the other hand, clutched the strong man's neck with gentle hands and smiled, looking into his eyes. He laid the girl on the couch of the orderly room. He was looking at her. She was beautiful. She was so close and so accessible to him. His hands had been caressing her beautiful body for a long time, while his lips were locked in a passionate kiss. Sasha was unbuttoning the buttons on her robe. They were already firm, saying that their mistress was already wound up. He fiddled with the lace panties a little more, revealing a small triangle of hair, so inviting to himself. Sasha couldn't resist and pressed his lips to it, causing a sweet moan from Nastenka. He was not a big fan of this business. However, he fell in love for real. Every inch of this beautiful body was precious to him. His tongue waltzed around the already wet cave, and Nastia, closing her eyes, just enjoyed the process, biting her lower lip so as not to scream with pleasure in the hospital ward. "Please turn over," Nastenka said languidly. Sasha did not immediately realize, but fulfilled the request of his beloved. His lips and tongue were still bursting into the wet female body when he felt sweet lips on his strengthened organ, giving off warmth. They both felt incredibly good. They enjoyed each other so sweetly. Sasha only stopped for a second when his throbbing organ gave out a portion of liquid. With a vengeance, he clung to those sweet lips, thrusting his tongue as deep as possible. The shudder of beautiful female legs became a signal for Sasha that Nastia was at the peak of bliss. He only intensified the movements of his tongue, bringing his beloved to pleasure. She even twitched slightly, and a little cry escaped from her sweet lips. Then Nastia went limp and lay for a minute in gentle pleasure from the high she got. Their bodies were nearby. They were lying down and just hugging. They were incredibly good together. They seemed to love each other. Their meetings became regular. Sasha specifically begged for night shifts. In those hours, he could fully enjoy his beloved. The couch on duty has long been their favorite place. How happy Sasha was when he entered the hot bosom of his beloved for the first time. She wrapped her beautiful legs around his back, allowing him to use her female flesh. Sasha tried his best, causing light screams from his beloved. For a long time, all patients knew about this connection, having heard these nocturnal sighs. But it didn't stop the lovers. They made love almost every night. Only the bosses did not understand why Sasha needed so many shifts. Although, no one was against it. Even when Nastia had these days, they did not stop petting. Sasha gently stroked Nastia's girl, enjoying the insane caress. It's been 5 weeks now, and Nastia was getting ready to be discharged. Sasha didn't know what to do. "We will live together." After thinking, the guy firmly decided for himself. After all, we love each other so much. He ran to get a bouquet of roses at a stall opposite the hospital. He was already on his way back to his beloved's room, who was packing her things. He stopped only briefly at the door of the ward, becoming an unwitting witness to a telephone conversation. "Yes, I'm checking out today. While your wife has been in the hospital for more than a month, you were there in London?" I know that business partners. Do you even love me? Have you arrived? Well done. Take me away from here. I'm tired of being here. Okay, I love you too. Sasha just didn't know what to say. This beloved soft velvety voice was talking to her husband. He still found the courage to enter the room. So you have a husband? And what about us? The guy asked bitterly. And there is no we. You're just a doctor. What can you give me? I understand that you overheard my phone conversation. Yes, I have a husband. And you were just a light entertainment. A toy. And you know what they do with a toy that they've played with? That's right. You're a smart boy and you understand everything. Okay, bye. He was smoking nervously, looking out the window. A beautiful girl was walking along the path. She was so beloved, so good. But it's already so far away. She got into a jeep that pulled up and sped off into the distance, taking Sasha's love away too.